guys. Come on, iPad. There we go. Found me. Episode 14 of Tez Talks Q&A is up. All right, let's take it away. I love this question so much because this is how I got to know my husband. I asked questions about his way in email, and that's how we got to know each other. And I remember some of the types of questions I asked was, what was the most challenging experience you've had in your life and why? What was the greatest gift that you've had, that you've learned, or the greatest lesson you've learned through one of the darkest times? Like, explain, tell me about that. What are the things that excite you most in life? What is your philosophy? What makes you tick? What are you attracted to? I think I wrote a couple down as well. I think really asking them thought-provoking questions. You could even ask them, would you say that you lean to more towards religious beliefs, or are you a spiritual human being? How do you define spirit? What do you think spirit is? You could ask them, let's see. I wrote down a few things. What are some of the best phases in your life? Tell me why. What did you love about that? What was it about that just inspired you? So that was really nice. Those kinds of questions I asked Mark, and he would write beautiful answers back. And then from what he wrote, I would find the next question. And then we somehow got into, asking each other about our way and describe, how would your friends describe you? What would they say? What does a typical day look like for you? What happens in your dream life? Tell me about all the things you want to have happen in your dream life. And then we got into areas what are your greatest achievements? Tell me what your greatest achievements in life are. And then you can really get to know a lot about someone depending upon how they answer that question. My greatest achievement was this work thing I did, or my greatest achievement was, moving through this block that I had, this spiritual and mental block. And that was such a great achievement because I had tremendous growth in that area. And so that will tell you a lot about where people's passions lie and what their focus is on. And then goals, I think a lot of all right, if you could design your dream life, what's going to happen in the next 20 years? Give me all the things year by year. What happens? What does that look like? And I think that's a really great way to get to know someone's spirit, what they really believe in, where their passions lie. On Your Zen Mama, actually, I wrote all those questions for this section called The Folks We Love. And I tried to ask questions that really spoke to someone and helped trigger ideas in them to share who they were, what their spirit was, what they looked like, what their philosophy was. And the feedback we've got so far from the site is that they love these answers. And I think it comes from very thought-provoking questions. So once you know what your questions are, then you can better start to get to know people on a real, authentic, deep level. I don't know why the iPad keeps losing me. There we go. Yeah. Success, it's such an interesting thing because everyone has a completely different definition of what success is. For me, success is balance. I feel successful when I'm in balance. I feel successful when I'm feeling happy too. So the last couple of years have been the most successful years, in my opinion, of my life. I think all elements of my life are in a beautiful harmony with one another. I've always had the goal to be a mother, and I feel successful at that because I feel really in tune with my son. I feel really connected with him. I think we have a secure attachment. I'm the mother I wanted to be, and I'm the mother I envisioned that I would be. So I feel success in that. Even though it's constantly in flow and in flux and changing, and I'm only growing deeper and learning more about being a mama. But then also, I just feel in harmony in my life, like in a balance. I can balance my work and my family, my life and my passions, and it's feeling like I'm managing to do that. And that to me feels successful. There's no monetary value on that for me. I think a lot of people look at a bank account and say, well, I'm successful. Or they look at the fact that they have a husband like, well, I'm successful. But for me, it's like I'm in balance. I feel happy. I'm doing all the things I'm so passionate about in my life. So that's why I feel successful. And I would say that's really only come to fruition the last couple of years. How do I deal with Bodhi's temper tantrums? It's a good question. Whenever I see that he's having some very strong emotional feelings, which most toddlers have a lot of the time, I want to acknowledge what his feelings are. I want to say, I hear you. That seems really hard. You seem so frustrated right now. I want him to know that I'm allowing him to have the space to have all those feelings. And I never want him to feel like his feelings are too big for me. Mama is a safe place. Mama is a sounding board. You can bring anything at Mama, and Mama's not going to let it trigger her own stuff. So a lot of the time when we react out of anger, our kids are doing something and it's annoyed us, and we raise our voice, or we snarky back at our kids, it's because it's triggering something within us. So really we have to be calm-headed and we are this unwavering safe space for them to be able to have all these fluctuating emotions, because that is what being a little toddler is. It's just figuring out the nooks and the crannies and the feelings and the emotions, and how do they process them and how do they move through them. And so we talk a lot about his feelings. Is he feeling happy? Is he feeling frustrated? You seem really angry. Do you want to talk to Mama about that? I see that you hit the blackboard. Yesterday he hit the blackboard. I was like, I saw that you hit the blackboard. Are you feeling frustrated? Yes, I'm feeling frustrated because of this. And we talk about, I'm like, I hear you. That must be really hard. Do you want Mama to be close? Yes, I want Mama to be close. So then we'll hug it out. I'll wipe away his tears. We'll talk about it. And I'll just sit there until he moves through it. And sometimes it's just, they need a release. They need to release that feeling. They need to know that you're there, that you're not abandoning them. You're not shaming them for having those feelings. And so I'll just sit on the ground next to him. I'll hold his hand. I'll wait for him. He'll come to me when he's ready. If it looks like he's going to hurt himself, if he's hitting something or if he's rolling, sometimes I'll hold him close to me and I'll let him know I'm going to hold you. We do deep breaths sometimes. Let's have deep breathing. So we do that together. And I just acknowledge him. I just really, really acknowledge him. And I never feel mad about his feelings. I think it's good to have gentle boundaries in place. Bodhi isn't a child that hits. There are some children at his school that do hit. But I think a good way to handle that is, I'm not going to let you hit. Mummy's body is not for hitting. Or, I'm not going to let you throw that. That toy doesn't want to be thrown. That toy is not for throwing. That toy is for playing. Things like that. And just staying really, really calm. And you'll notice that they'll pass. They'll really start to pass. And then you can always talk about it once they're out of that emotional place. You can talk about it afterwards. Sometimes we'll be in the car and I'll say, I noticed that was really hard for you to leave preschool, because that's one thing that's been coming up, is he wants to stay at preschool. He just loves it so much. He won't want to leave. I'll be like, you're having a really hard time. You had a really hard time coming into the car with mama. And, you know, let's talk about that. You know, what I'm noticing is that when mama picks you up, we go home, we have our nap, we go to coach is one of the things we do. We go and see his coach, his soccer coach. And in the morning, we get to go back to preschool again. And we get to do that every day. We get to go to preschool every day, and we get to see our friends, and we get to build the robots and all the fun things he loves to do. And we just have full conversations about it. And that's how I handle it. And even when I'm out in public, I get down his level. I don't care about who's watching or what's going on. Hi, Izzy. Bodhi is up. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Thank you. Oh, is that him there? Oh, he's over there? Okay. You can let him know I'm in here if you want. What? You can let him know I'm in here. I'm just doing a video. Hi, my love. Bodhi's awake. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I navigate it with him. And we have, hello. Did you just wake up? Hi, my lovey. Oh, sweetheart. Right on cue. So yeah, that's how we do things. It's really peaceful. It's very loving, and we just talk. I treat him like as a real little guy. He has his own big feelings and his own big emotions, and I really try and see the world through his eyes and see how frustrating that could be to have to leave in the middle of doing something fun. So yeah, that's kind of how we handle things. And I really recommend this woman, two women, Dr. Shafali, who's just amazing, and she talks about not the idea of no discipline and about natural consequences. Then I also I look a lot at Janet Lansbury's website, and she also has this podcast called Unruffled, and it's a really good. It's about communicating with your toddler, and she offers up some really practical advice. All right, guys, this little sleepy man just woke up, so I am gonna say goodbye, and I will see you next week. All right.